Ouch. Hey, Zany J here. And today I'm doing a video about a woodworking project on my table here. As you can see, all the computer components have been taken off. This rubber mallet is going to be used to knock the pieces loose. Probably see how rickety and loose that bad boy is. And that's my fault because of sliding it across the floor. I don't know if you see them or not, but over in the corner, bought some wood clamps, some bar clamps. I bought a Harbor Freight. I'm going to see how well these work. I bought them in 3 different lengths. I may have mentioned it, I used to do woodworking at Goodwill years ago. I used to have a furniture department here in Lawton. Now I wanted to get some pony clamps, but you have to buy the pipe separately. I saw these in Harbor Freight. This is about 5 feet, something like that. Excuse me. But yeah, oh, it's got padding on it. These and everything. It's like cast aluminum. I'm gonna see how well these work. Once I'm done with this, I'll probably do a review video on these. Well, I've got some of these Black & Decker, got the R of Black & Decker, so that's a that's a plus. Just slide up a little too high here. Got my light there, trying to make sure it's working okay. Got my safety goggles here, so put those on. Yeah, Black & Decker, man. I mean, Black & Decker, Skill, DeWalt. I think DeWalt's like a subsidiary of Black & Decker. Got Milwaukee tools. Yeah. Excuse me. Really good. Oh yeah. I also got Gorilla wood glue. It's not the type that foams, because most of it, it's still the same Gorilla Glue quality. The drying time's really quick. It says water resistant, passes ANSI HPVA type 2, strong and fast setting, short clamp time, that's a plus, dries a natural color, no foam, water cleanup, non-toxic is cured, no harmful fumes. Let's see, I don't know if you can read that or not, but light, crank it down just a little bit, wrong direction. You might not be able to see it, but let's see, sandable, paintable, mildew resistant, compliant with FDA standards, for indirect food contact, works with radio frequency gluing systems, okay, formulated for hardwood, softwoods, natural wood composites. So that's a good thing, knock on wood. So yeah, we'll hook my drill up here, get my energy drink over here, and start taking this sucker apart. I like this because it's a variable speed trigger drill, and most importantly, before I forget, always have something to put your screws in, because I know I got a few screws loose. Remaining hinges, I mean, some might argue that I can leave them on there, but I'm like, well, I might need to clamp there and it might be obstructing what I need to do. I've noticed on these, they have these, show it to you, have these large screws, locking screws like you see on like a particle board, like entertainment center or something, or a desk or something. You know, I'll have to unscrew those and take those out. Everything else is like dowel pins and what have you. Yeah, that's sucker. But this is the main subject of the gluing right here. So I'll take my rubber mallet. Hey, Rowdy. He's investigating. Just we're going to take a large screw bit and unscrew that. Oh man, oh man, I can't believe I did that. Crap. When I have clamps, ooh, that is not good. Oh man, I'll show you what I did. Oh, just too much power, and it split it right there, man. It broke it. I was like, crap. See that or not there? Sorry about the bright light. But yeah, I twisted it, freaking busted it right there. So yeah, I'm gonna have to clamp that. Try and get those off of there. Put those locking devices on there and stuff like that. Got this big beefy Phillips right here. I should have used it to begin with, but oh well. But you can see right where that's broken there. So it's like, I have these metal, you're only supposed to turn just so far, and I just, I'll say, yeehaw! Anyway, there's another one over here that will take off too, on the other side, so, right here, get a shot of that. They don't make them easy to take apart either, which is interesting to me. I'm like, dang, man. Oh, I see how they did it. It's like partially, one's a dowel, and one's one of those locking devices. But that's really interesting how they set that up. That's like that, so. And then the top pieces, of course, they're just straight dowels, so. Find my mallet here. Here it is. Here, what I'm doing that cutting. You want to try to apply even pressure when you're knocking those loose, because you usually break a dowel pin if you're not careful. I've done that a few times. Well, these things are so strange how they're put together. It's just it's going to take like an Allen key or something. On the inside there, you can see it or not. Those holes, those little openings right there, they have like Allen screws in there. They're like little giant pressure devices to help squeeze it together. Well, this is definitely interesting. I've never, done something like this before, but at least I've done woodworking like this. Sorry. Get that separate there. Break it out piece by piece right there, the dowel holes. And piece right there. I'm going to go ahead and take that hardware off of there, folks, because I don't like rattling around like that. That's just annoying and it gets in the way. It's cumbersome. It's just getting it all apart. Some of these, they need a more delicate touch. That's why I'm using a manual screwdriver. Because as you saw before, on that other part, where it just broke the locking screw, yeah, we don't want that to happen again. At least I don't. Gather everything up here. Bowl there. Woodworking requires a lot of patience. Try not to say woodworking. Whoops. Anyway, yeah. Getting all these pieces separate. Like I said, it's probably going to take an Allen screw, because these are like, the top, they're like, oh, they're locked in at the top. It's large. I've got Allen wrenches, I can just take that out. Same thing with this one here. Yeah, the bottom ones came loose pretty easily. Yeah, I got another split piece down here. It's going to have to be glued. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, it's split like right here. Yeah, my impetuousness, not better examining what I was dealing with. I thought it was all dowels. It's kind of like it's a combination of dowels and locking screws. But anyway, like I always say, learn and learn. Right. Ta-da! Allen screws. I don't know if they're standard or metric or not, but I'm about to find out. Whew, definitely gonna have to speed this segment up. Time gets up. There you go, it's all out. Bonacas! Hey, Chihuahua! That's interesting. Oh, okay. Ah, I see. I guess that's like the little keeper thing that holds that in there. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. We're going to have to line that up. Ooh, boy. I'll have to line that bad boy up. I think it's actually set in there at the right depth, so you can just put it back in there. I certainly hope so. Just one more segment from out loose of the mallet. Finally, I like it. I think Rowdy wants to help me out. He's into my tools. Hey, buddy. I left those open. Oh, alright. Sorry. See, that's why it's always important to use a rubber mallet. Like I said before, man, you don't want to use a hammer because, well, that's got a big dent. So now I've gotten everything apart. Now I'm going to inspect, certain parts like this right here. I'm going to have to glue this up before I need to put it on. This little piece right here. Always keep some water and a rag so I can wipe off the excess glue, because you don't want to let excess glue on it, and it looks professional, clean and neat, and drums up business. You do a good job. Common sense, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to start with the small piece first. I guess those little locking screws that kind of stay in there. I do have a spring clamp somewhere. What kind of spring device? I thought I did. I'll just use this really, really short clamp. I have a C clamp. Aha! I have a C clamp. Let's have to find that sucker. Oh, I had to go hunt it down, but I have this big C clamp that I can use. What I need to do is put another piece of wood or something. I don't have any. So, what can I use? I have a small piece like a leather pouch thing that I had laying around. I could use it, put between the clamp head and the screw piece. I just bumped the camera. I can use that to protect the wood. Excuse me. So, piece. Piece I had. Where's that sucker? Pull that little piece out of there so I can set the glasses back on. Well, at the moment I don't need them. Just wait something, but it's going to kind of be kind of tricky because it's good to go. The river on my finger here, so I don't get too much by accident or whatever. Interesting. Stuff there. Whoa. Gosh. Let's see what happened. Glue literally dried up inside the tip. Wow. Yeah, it literally dried up inside the tip. Yikes. Excuse me. There it goes. I got some suction. It's pulling. That's not good. Right. A bunch of extra glue I've been working into that crack right there. You don't want to get this too terribly tight. I mean, you just want to get it tight enough where it's going to sit in there. You know, I'm not trying to get too tight, I can break it even worse. I don't want to do that. You know, let that set for a while. I get a little water and glue out of there, but that'll dry up. It may not be a perfect fit, but that's going to be on the bottom, so nobody's really going to be looking for that anyway. You know, so set that over here to the side for right now. Let's start inspecting all these other pieces. That one looks good. Let's see. This one here. See any cracks or anything in it. That's where some clamps were at. So there's this little damaged spot. That's where those little brackets were at. So this is okay. This is another one I'm going to have to take the Allen screw to it. The screws with it. The screws to it. Get it going. So it's really be a bit more stubborn than the other one. Oh well. Take it as it comes, right? Okay. Let's see. I gotta show the bottom part of this, the screw pieces. So I gotta make sure that's like that. So I'll take Mr. Glue here. Glue that up. Depending on the dowel, sometimes I like to flood the power hole area with glue. Better view of what I'm doing here. Glue on it right there. I've smeared around with my finger a little bit. I get it all over it. Thankfully, this doesn't have any old glue on it, so it should be good to go. Just to be on the safe side, I think I will go ahead and put some glue in the hole. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot in the hole. You know, just put that back together. Might create a bit of a vacuum, but that's okay. I don't mind that. You can see the glue right there around that. I'm going to go ahead and lock that locking screw back in place, because that can help secure it back down. The dowel will do the rest. And of course, do the same with the other leg right here. Exact same procedure. And I'll get a couple of clamps on this and go from there. Again, you want to make sure you get the glue smeared all the way. You see that? You want to try to smear the glue all the way around the dowel so there's proper coverage and just glue it better, stronger. Break loose on you. I've had chairs you had to glue it 2 or 3 times, or do it 2 or 3 times. It just didn't want to because of the wood. I know it's like on oak wood. Man, you gotta glue in the oak wood. Man, you gotta make sure that glue, any old glue that's on there, is like off there. You gotta really, really make sure that wood is sanded and prepared for the glue, because it just don't take a lot of time. This has been my experience with certain types of wood. As before, I'm going to see it. Working it together there. Sure the bottom, no, put the wrong end up. Lock that screw down there. Locking screw. We'll have to. I wish I had some bigger dowels, because for some reason that's just not. Those dowel pins are a little small. Oh crap, I messed up just now. Good lord, what am I doing? I just realized something. I don't have the top pieces in. Whoops! Better put that. Well, I almost boo-booed right there. Hey, just pay attention, that's all I gotta say. Good night. What am I doing here? Silly, silly, silly over here. Okay. Put this all over there. Bottom to the top, top to the bottom, vice versa. Glue on everywhere, that's okay, I cleaned it up. This stuff was set up pretty fast, I can tell you that. It's a lot of work getting one piece to get situated here, I tell you. The levering piece. I noticed that. This one doesn't have a levering piece on it. A screwing piece. I'm like, oh boy, that's nice. Anyway, well, I should pay attention to that when I bought it. It is, right? I'm not going to put too much pressure on these. Use a Allen key to kind of tighten this other one up just a little bit. Daniel should pay attention to that. I don't want to bite it into the wood so they don't have any extra blocks of wood. I've got this glued up and I'm wiping off the excess glue around as best I can. So make sure you do that because like I said, it looks professional. You know, it just looks better. I don't have any extra blocks of wood. These aren't padded, so I'm trying not to screw them down too hard. You know. We're padded though, but it's just one of those things, you know. You hear it starting to crackle when you're clamping it, you're pressing too hard. Let this set for a few hours. It's going to need to. So I'm going to have to let that set for a few hours. Oh hey, I've gotten that one piece. It's set up, and it's been like 2 or 3 days because I've been at work. Now I'm off today, so I can continue doing rest of the gluing and repair on this stuff. I've decided to move the entire operation to the living room area because there's more room there. You know, here I'm just like majorly cramped and what have you in the bedroom area, so I'll just continue on in there. What I'm doing in this segment here is I'm bringing out only the pieces that actually need to be glued together or repaired, like this one leaf on the top section, and a small crack where the hinge was that I showed the last segment the other day. I only brought out the pieces that actually need to be glued, like this leaf piece here that had the crack in it that I showed in the last segment. Like right there along where the hinge is supposed to be. You can see that nice little crack right there, so I've got to glue that. And I've also found something I can use as rubber pieces or padding. This piece right here, which is the aforementioned piece that I had glued up the other day in the last segment, it's rock solid. I mean, over 3 days worth of waiting time, yeah, it's pretty sure it's good to go. And before I will this piece here, of course, will have to set about, 24 hours. That's okay. I'm just working into the crack there. See what I'm doing here is working in my fingers into that crack. And I'll have to clamp it up, glue down. Yeah. Block the shot here so you can see what's up. Thankfully, if any glue dries in the screw holes, well, I can always, just screw back into it. That should work. And before I forget, gotta make sure I have this. Yeah. Especially when I like glue, I gotta wipe it off and everything. Rowdy's talking to the birds. I'm looking at him chattering or not. Talking to the birds, buddy? I'm gonna put this on here. Put the other one on the other end like that. And I'm going to clamp it. I'll use my smallest clamp, my smallest bar clamp for this. Alright, just trying to steal the show over here. Convenience, I get another long stem bolt like the other one has, so I can actually make that a proper fit right there. That's as close as I'm going to get that before I can start screwing it. Put my arm in the way, so. A little pressure on that. I've got the rubber on there. And, you can see where the glue is squeezed out. I don't squeeze, even with the rubber, I don't squeeze too terribly hard because it can bite through the rubber into the wood. Of course, like before, wipe off that excess. And I said, well, you use a lot of glue. Well, I had to work it in there. And I had to work it in there to get in that crack. It's not like gluing two pieces of wood together that are apart. You gotta work it in there and just get it in there and clamp her shut so she can dry. Yeah. Anything that's left over later, I can always come back and kind of scrape her off just a little bit. Set up. That's going to set up for 24 hours. I can always screw in any subsequent glue that's left in the screw hole. That's easily taken care of with like a hole punch or something. Action to see if there's anything that needs to be, you know, glued up before I glue it up. And this is that piece from the other day that I had to glue, so it's straight now. Well, I had to reposition the camera so I can get a better, wider angle shot of everything I'm doing. Went and got that large screwdriver. I'm going to need it when I reassemble this one. This piece here, it has the keepers on it, the large Allen screws. Make sure I don't lose this piece here. It goes on top of this. But yeah, like this piece right here, I went and got my Allen screws, my Allen wrenches, and that screwdrivers. I'm going to need it to get everything else, those locks back on together on the other piece, those locking screws right here. Now, while that's drying up over there, I'm going to get the gluing on this right here. All right. Start with the top piece. I need to use dowel pieces too. Helps if I open the glue up. And as before, this is just the way I like to do it. Put a little glue, some glue on the dowel pin and glue into the hole. Because you know when you put the glue in, it's going to push it out. Wow, it's in that hole for. The other dowel pin is fairly secured, so I'm like, I'm not going to mess with it. It's locked in there. And I'm going to glue around the other one. And subsequently, I'm going to make sure that orientation for this hole here is where a dowel pin for the tabletop goes. That piece that's back over there. Did I just put the smaller clamp on? Yeah. So orientation is always important. All right, this should go on the inside here. Got all that extra glue coming out, but I really have all that extra glue coming out, which I can use on this other side as I'm putting everything else together. And I'm going to start gluing this piece here. It's got the locking screws. And again, putting a little glue onto the dowel pin. And glue into the hole so it'll fit. Or it'll be tight, I should say. Of course, again, any loose glue can always be wiped off. Or any extra glue can be wiped off with loose glue. You don't want glue to be loose when it dries. That's not a good thing. You want it to be tight and firm and all that good stuff. As you can see here, that's one side. Or one leg, I should say. And again, you want to make sure you check your orientation on things. This is the top piece with the little pinion that goes on there that it'll screw into. Make sure you add more glue to your dowel pins. There's glue. Like I said, there's already glue in those top holes, so. So it's a process, woodworking. It's not wham bam, thank you ma'am overnight. A lot of people might think it is. Anyone that's done any woodworking at all is going to know that it's not. Put this over. Locking that into place, sticking that in there. Apparently the locking screw needs to be turned where I can actually push that in there, because it's going to push down in there properly. I remember right, that is the side that was damaged, so it's going to probably be a little reluctant. I'll have to get my mallet. Said you don't want to use an actual hammer on this, because that's no good. And at this point on, I'm just going to go ahead and put the clamps on it, and the shorter one. Let's go from there. I'll find something padded. Those other two pieces that I cut from that little pouch, so make sure I'm not putting something on here. That screw piece right there is locking screw is causing a bit of an issue with the seating and the alignment, but you know, it's just the way it is on some things. You gotta work with it. Try to get it as close as you can. Squeeze that tighter. So I got these pads on there, so that's good to go. Cut myself some slack here with the clamp. With the wall, always something. Always something going. Something can go wrong, it will. Yeah. What I'm looking at here, see it or not, is right, there's still a slight gap right here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, that's from where that damaged piece was, and I had to glue it. So I got it as tight as I could. Now I just need to clean up this extra glue for it sets in. there's a better view of what I'm talking about. You can always see that slight gap right there. It's right in there. I don't know, man. It's not that noticeable. Put a little bit more, or clamp it a little bit more, I should say. Yeah, that's probably good enough for this. It's on the bottom, so it's really not that noticeable unless you really, really want to look for it, nitpick or whatever. You know, a lot of people are like you know, I don't believe any job can be absolutely perfect that's made by man. I just do the best I can with what I have. Boy, that clamp is flexing. Oof. That's the only downside of these. It's flexing a little bit. The metal is like flexing, fatiguing just a little bit. I'm like, twist that back up just a hair there. It's like really spurting out. Good goodness. I think overall, I much would have rather had some old like pony clamps and pipe on them, black pipe. That probably would have been a lot better, but you know, these aren't bad. You know, I mean, it works. You know, I think actually, I think it's supposed to be crimped like that a little bit at the top because of the retaining rivet right there to hold it into the clamp. So, you know, anyway. Well, I'm going to have to let this dry up. I'm fresh out of wood clamps, so I can't continue putting the pieces back together. So, yeah, this is one of those things, it's just piecemeal, man. Unless you have extra clamps, you know, it's just, hey. We'll wait for that to dry, and we'll come back and continue.